Hello and welcome back to The Way I See It. My name is Lucy Superfox and this is my podcast. So if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm a little bit glammed up for this podcast, full lipstick on, full hairdo, because it's date night. We're heading out soon, but I thought that I would jump on and just share a little bit of my thoughts this week about something called sweat equity. Now, I think what often happens in life is that we go through stages where, the hustle and the grind is sexy, and then we go through other stages of life where actually we just want it to be a bit easy breezy. And that's fine, right? That's part of life, is that, we hustle for a bit, we reap the reward. What's started to happen though through social media is that people are trying to paint out like they're achieving the hustle phase by doing nothing. And what they're doing is basically misdescribing, is probably the best way to put it, how to use the law of attraction. So to me, the law of attraction is that who you are, the way that you behave, what you put out there, you absolutely get back, more like a frisbee, right? You throw it out, it comes back exactly the way you are. So it's not about what you want, right? The law of attraction isn't about attracting what you want. It's about who you are being, who you are becoming, the intention and the effort that you are applying. And in turn, you see that reciprocated back to you. So what's happened is manifestation has become this thing that if you are this person who's, spiritual and abundant, you're just going to attract all this wealth out of nowhere, and all these clients are just going to fall in your lap, and all this stuff is going to happen. And the truth is, that's just not how it works. So absolutely, can there be moments of divine or universal intervention? Absolutely, can there be bonus surprises that happen along the way because of who we're becoming? 1,000,000%. But what I disagree with is basically the sexualization, or basically the selling of no effort, right? The fact that you don't have to apply any effort. I've seen ads for, people who used to have amazing reputations in the fitness industry as people who didn't believe in hype and bullshit, now selling, a fat burner that they have before breakfast, and that's the reason they have abs. And it's just bollocks. It's just bollocks. The reason that she has abs is that she's been training for 15 years of her life. She's popped out 2 kids, but she got straight back onto restoring her core and doing what she needed to do for diastasis recti. And then she probably does cardio every day, still trains, and eats a really quality, high nutritious diet, not because she has a fat burner before breakfast. And so that kind of behavior, I'm really seeing that transition even into the business industry and kind of the mindset coaching industry, that you can sit and all these solar-led clients are just fall in your lap. Fuck off. That is not what happens at all. And so for me, my biggest thing is that you've got to have something called sweat equity. You have got to be prepared to have skin in the game. You have got to be prepared to take risks. You've got to be prepared to put yourself out there on that skinny ranch that might break. You've got to be prepared to shut the back door, because if you don't do those things, you are not being the person that's fully all in. Now, here's why this is the challenge, right? I'm not saying that you won't attract clients from an amazing, abundant place where you feel like you haven't done anything. I'm not saying that you won't feel like you've lost weight without trying, because you 1,000,000% can. But the reason it feels like you're not doing anything is because you're aligned in terms of who you are with where you're going. And what alignment means is you believe in where you're going, you believe it's possible for you, and you have massive passion and joy in the process. That is alignment. And so what often happens is we confuse alignment, getting in great energy, great belief with great effort, right, with manifesting. And we think that manifesting is a passive thing. It absolutely fucking is not. It is an active thing. It's an active behavior, mindset, intention, focus every single day. And so what happens is there's been this big trend of people, they want to, go to the gym, and then 3 months later they want to step on stage and wonder why they don't win. I mean, babe, hello? There's people who start a business, whether it's network marketing, coaching, it doesn't really matter what it is, and they don't want to do the work, and they want to, post a few times on the gram and think that people are going to fall in their lap. That's not what this is about. And I think this is where, I hate hype. I hate saying to people, this is going to happen for you and that's going to happen for you, and you're going to go there, because you fucking ain't. That's the truth. Unless you're willing to do the work, unless you're willing to put the skin in the game, put the time in, the effort in, the consistency, and you're willing to show up with unwavering faith and extraordinary effort, which doesn't feel like extraordinary effort, right? Because you're aligned, because you believe where you're going, you're on the right path. Until you're willing to do that, you're never going to see these massive results that people are hoping, wishing, and praying for, right? And so where I feel frustrated as somebody that has absolutely felt aligned at different points in my journey and seen some incredible magic come off the back of that alignment. There have also been times where I've worked really fucking hard and nothing's happened. But there has never been a time where I've done nothing, felt lazy and entitled, and shit has fallen in my lap. There is a whole generation right now of lazy and entitled people who've seen some spark of fame, they've gone viral on a video, they've seen a few things on Instagram, and they've let it go to their head, and it made them believe that they don't need to do anything. Now, there's a difference between not needing to do anything and not needing to be anything. I absolutely believe everybody is enough. I believe that you are intrinsically worthy of every single dream, every single goal, and every single vision that you have for yourself. I truly believe that. But where I get hung up and where I get frustrated is when people don't want to do anything about making that vision, that belief, that they want reality. And if I'm totally honest with you, this is what is wrong with social media. This is the thing that needs to change. We need to start telling the stories of the effort we've applied, the work that we've done, the time that we've taken, not telling the stories of, oh, it was a breeze, babes. Because what if for that person, there's a lot more work to do around getting in alignment, around getting their beliefs in check, around their own self-worth, and then in turn, the effort off the back of that. You know, guys, like business life is never linear, right? And there's so many graphs and charts about this, you know, it's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. But what happens is we get into this place where we see this little gradient upwards and we think, that's it, foot off the fucking pedal. It's like with weight loss, right? We see the gradient coming down and we think, do you know what? I'm going to take my foot off the pedal and I'll pull back because it's working. We need to keep doing the same thing that got us to the place of success and beyond. And sometimes we even need to innovate with that. So it might be that something you did to be successful 4 years ago no longer works. You know, a great example is when I first built my prep coaching business, I have never paid for an ad in my life on that side of things. And when it came to that, I basically built my entire business of transformations, testimonials, and word of mouth referral. Now, that was in the new days of Instagram. Try doing that now as a brand new coach starting a brand new Instagram, you fucked, right? Unless you're building yourself a massive profile through getting yourself out there doing 17 zillion shows and everything else. But then I'd argue you're putting skin in the game, because you're not only just putting your money where your mouth is, but doing the work. You're showing up, you're getting out there, you're networking, you're meeting new people. You cannot expect to grow a following from doing fucking nothing. You cannot expect to grow wealth from doing nothing, right? There's got to be risk somewhere. Now, in some businesses, like in, let's say, trading and finance, the risk is the investment amount you put in, okay? In most other businesses, the risk is the time and the effort that you put in. But here's the thing about time and effort, right? It's always going to come to something. Whereas when you invest money, there's no guarantee it's going to come to anything. Whereas when you invest time and effort, you actually decide what that comes to. You decide the rate of that fruition. You decide how fast or how slow you want to go. And so where I get hung up and frustrated is that people think they can, you know, buy a course, or people think they can buy a product, or they can, you know, invest in something, and they can sit back and do nothing. And this is where the term passive income can sometimes get a bit of a confused rap, because passive income does not mean that you do nothing. It means you can generate recurring income based on an initial investment of time and or money, right? But even in network marketing, even if you promote to the top level like I have, right, there's a significant time investment that went into that, a significant energy investment, and a continued significant energy investment both into my team, my social media, the way, you know, I look. All of these things are packaged. All of those things are part of, you know, being part of my business, right? So where I think people get hung up is they think they can do nothing and be successful, and it's bullshit. It's bullshit. So here is my challenge to you as somebody who's clearly open to growth, as someone who's interested in wanting more, is you've got to get skin in the game. So how are you going to get your sweat equity? How are you going to invest yourself in the things that you've got in your life? How are you going to demonstrate you're putting the time in, the effort in? How are you going to step up as that best version of yourself? How are you going to put that intention into what you're doing? How are you going to get aligned? Because without those things, it's just more bullshit. Without those things, you are feeding the problem and not being part of the solution. So how can you be part of the no hype solution? How can you be part of the people that puts the time and effort in, that gets themselves aligned, that does what they need to do to show people that not only can you achieve anything with effort, time, and consistency, but also that a normal person can do it? I think people think I'm someone special. I was a normal girl, brought up in a normal household. I watched my dad build a business for, you know, however many years. And when I was 16, 17, it really started to take off. We moved to a beautiful new home, and that was amazing. So our quality of lifestyle went up. but I came from nothing. As a young child, we had nothing, so I remember mum telling me stories of Christmases where we, get back a crayon split up and a clementine in the stocking, right? So I don't come from money. It's not been spoon fed to me. So to me, I always therefore had a story around money and the kind of story I wanted to tell around money. And I wanted to have a life of abundance and choice. And I still want that. I'm still on that growth journey. I'm still striving for more than I have now. And not because I always want more, but because I have a figure in mind and I know what that figure will afford me. But I also saw the sweat equity, the time, the effort, the consistency that my parents put into that. I saw the amount of time my dad worked on that business. He worked weekends, he worked evenings. I saw my mum put time into working overtime to support us in the years before that. I saw the sweat equity, and then the rewards were so much sweeter. And that's what we don't see through social media. We are not seeing the sweat equity. So I am challenging you as a business owner, as a professional, as a person who's into fitness, however you have found this podcast and my page, and challenging you to show the sweat equity, to show the effort, to document the journey, to show people absolutely what is possible, but the time and the effort and the consistency is what it takes. Because otherwise people are looking for a quick win, they're looking for a quick fix, and what they're not seeing is actually what it takes. And by the longer we continue to do this, the more people on this planet will be unfulfilled, unhappy, and constantly striving and seeking for something outside of themselves, when the answer is 1,000,000% inside of them. So know that I absolutely believe that everybody is intrinsically worthy of whatever their goals and dreams are. But it is time to put skin in the game. It's time to shut the back door, to put in the effort, the time, and consistency into your goal that you have set yourself, that you want, not that someone else has set you, that you want, and to show up as the best version of yourself in that aligned action, intention, and focus every single day. There is no such thing as a quick win. There is no such thing as overnight success. The way these things are created, the way that these results happen, is by having skin in the game and sweat equity. So that was the way I see it. Thank you so much for joining me and spending time with me. And I look forward to seeing you in the next podcast.